You want to guess which palette I used to achieve this look? All right, jump right into the Tom Ford. So I'm already wearing the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Cushion Foundation, which is what I wore for the other palettes as well, the Intensity 0.5, 1, and 2. And I have my brows done with the Fiber Brow Gel by Tom Ford, so I've kept everything the same. And I will show you, this is the Intensity 3 Moss Agate. You like my singing there? All my theater training will pay off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just sort of jump right in, and two things to say. One, I've gotten some DMs about my hair, good ones, nothing bad. And how it looks like this, and does it look like this naturally? Like, did I suddenly, like, do I curl it? No, this is my hair. What I do is I have a diffuser and I diffuse it so it's, you know, kind of dry, and then I let it air dry. It looks hysterical when I let it air dry because I have to lift up parts of my hair and kind of pin them so the underneath gets dry because my hair is so heavy. But yes, this is my hair. It has product in it, but I didn't curl it. There's no wands involved. This is just it. And if you're really interested in knowing like how I do it and the products that I use and that type of thing, you know, let me know. I'll be happy to do that for you guys. But I will say it's not gonna work on everyone. I have really thick, coarse hair. So it's only gonna work on really thick, coarse hair. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's swatch this amazing palette. So as my subscribers know, anyone who's been watching me for a while, I bought the first 3 intensities of the Tom Ford palettes, and absolutely I enjoyed all of them. I think they're all excellent. This is the highlighter and the contour color in the palette. And I didn't buy the Moss Agate, the one that we're doing today, on the first go round because frankly I thought it would be too intense. I mean, the idea, at least I thought the idea behind these palettes was that each one would have a different intensity meant for you know, a different skin tone. And although I think to a certain extent that's true, the Rose Cashmere is definitely light. The Red Harness is definitely warm, and the Moonlit Violet is definitely cool. I wouldn't necessarily say that you'd have to be a particular intensity of skin tone to wear them. I would say the Rose Cashmere is probably the one where I would say if you're a deeper skin tone, that would probably not work on you. But you know, it's hard to tell because all of these shades and all of the pigments that are in here are not, they're not over pigmented, they're not richly pigmented. They work and they look really nice, but this isn't like a Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette. So I think it really would work on pretty much anyone depending on the intensity, the payoff that they were looking for. You could be someone who has a deep skin tone and use the Rose Cashmere, you would just get a very different look than someone with my skin tone. So I don't think it's like, oh, I can only use this one. That's just my take on it, but you know, take that for what it's worth. Okay, so here are the shades. There's this like camel color. This is like I'd call it like a mauvey brown. There's this light blue, and then there's this shade here, which it's tough to say what that is, to be honest with you. On me, it kind of looks like a grayish blue, but I think it's gonna look different on different people because I saw it somewhere else and it looked greener. So, you know, like with anything, I think it depends on your undertones. I think it depends on your skin tone. So 2 other things to note other than my crazy hair. It is 90 degrees outside. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I was gonna get dressed up for you guys and put on earrings and everything, and I couldn't do it. It's too hot. And I don't like it. I don't do well in the heat. So you're getting t-shirt Jen, and I apologize. You can't really see it anyway, but you know, I want to be want to be transparent about these things. So we're gonna use this shade, which I know is really a bronzer, but I'm gonna use it as more of a contour because on me it's definitely deep, as you saw in my hand. And it's very cool. And I don't think it's gonna work as a bronzer for me. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try it out this way first. Yep. You guys can see already how deep that shade is for me. Now, I can thin it out, so that's okay. Like I said, with these shades, they're not so pigmented that you put it on and then it's just gonna stay that way. We can buff it out. But I want you to see on my skin tone, this is definitely a deep shade. Now, it should be. This is intensity 3. If it wasn't a deeper skin, I mean, you know, the whole point of inclusiveness and making sure products work for everyone is that they work for basically everyone, which means you're gonna need deeper, lighter, redder, bluer, golden, whatever the case may be, so that, you know, at least most people fit. Now, there's gonna be people who are always outside of those parameters. I often find that I'm pretty pale, and for a long time they didn't have shades that were light enough for me. And I'm sure people on the other end of the spectrum find the same thing. Not deep enough, not dark enough, not red enough, whatever it may be. I think that's come a long way. I think we've seen more, which is why I love it when like a ColourPop just came out with their foundations, and I forget exactly how many there are, but I think there's like 40. That goes a long way to being able to help you find your shade. And the thing is, and I'm going with a sponge, guys, to kind of like diffuse this out, even if you can find your shade match, you know, the intensity, sometimes the undertone is wrong, which, you know, there's only so much you can do about that. But like I have a lot of foundations that technically match my skin color, but the shade, the undertone is just, it's not good. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in with the Wayne Goss large brush, because I think this might be the right brush. Yeah, to take this, because it's so deep on me. If I do this, it's really diffused out. If you're not familiar with the Wayne Goss brushes, I'll put the video I did above. If you're looking for a super light, I mean, like barely there, diffused kind of look, that is what you want. Okay, and I will go in, same shade, contour my nose a little bit. I don't usually contour my nose. And don't get me wrong, I don't love my nose. I don't think anyone, well, maybe a few people, but most people aren't like, oh, I love my nose. My nose is great. Most people, if you're gonna ask them the one thing that they don't like about themselves, they'll tell you it's their nose, which I find interesting. But my nose for the most part is fine. I mean, it's fine. Do I love it? No. Do I hate it? No, it's fine. I mean, it works for the most part. I can breathe, except now because I still haven't gotten back to my normal allergy shots. Anyway, it's not the point. So yeah, I think if you really diffuse it out, I think it looks fine. I'm using it as a contour. I'm not using it as a bronzer. I don't think it'll work as a bronzer on somebody as light as me, which is, you know, makes sense, right? Same thing true with the highlighter. Highlighter is very golden, as I showed you guys. I'm gonna use the Wayne Goss brush again and just kind of diffuse it in there. I think for me anyway, that's gonna be the way I'll use this going forward. I just think it's beautiful, but I think it's too deep for my skin tone. But that's a good thing, because it means it'll work better for someone with a deeper skin tone, which is practically everybody on the planet than me. Okay, I'm gonna buff it all in at the end, but that's how it looks, not buffed on my face. Yeah, I mean, it's a little too deep, I think that's reasonable. So let's go in with the Inhibition Blush, same blush I used on the other videos. I am not going to use bronzer because I want you, and I didn't, you know, in the others, because I used the other shades as bronzers. I want you to see how this looks on its own. Again, I'll buff it out at the end with some powder, but for the most part, I want you guys to see what it looks like. And you can see, it's too deep, but not bad. I mean, not, you know, I think if you went in with a strong brush, a dense brush, I don't think that would look good on a light skin tone. Let's go in with this brown, it's like a satin. It's kind of not really brown, guys. I mean, you saw the swatch on my hand, but it's got more of a, what would I call it? Mushroom. That's what I'm looking for. Mushroom, which I actually like, but that's what the shade is. It's not really brown. It has a cool undertone to it, which is not a bad thing. It's just, if you're wondering, all I'm doing is placing, opening my eye, making sure that it's a little above the eye socket, not too far, because I want to blend it up. That is a, you know, depending on how much space you have between your eyebrow and your crease, and that differs for everyone, you want to make sure that when you're placing, and you know, I'm calling this my transition shade, but you could call it whatever you want. When you put the shade down, if you're gonna blend it upwards, make sure you have enough space. If you start with it in your brow area, you have nowhere to blend up. And so you get a harsher look, a harsher line. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, let's face it, guys, in the 80s, you would have your makeup, your eyeshadow go all the way to your brow, and there was no transition whatsoever. It was like bright pink, you know, right underneath your brow area. That's okay. It's a look. I don't find it as flattering on me, but I think it also depends on how much real estate you have between your eyebrow and your eye. I mean, I don't have a very big forehead. If you had a really large forehead, you might have a lot more space. And if you have a lot more space, then play with it, you know, use that space. I don't really have that, so it's not really an issue for me. All right, so now we're gonna go in with that bright blue shade, and I'm gonna put this on the outer corner. I'm gonna do something a little outside my comfort zone here today, but I think it'll be, well, we'll see. We'll see how it works. And play a little bit with the blues. Because what you could do with this palette definitely is stay with those, the mushroom shade and the camel shade. You could absolutely do that. The great thing about Tom Ford is usually in his quads, and this is no exception, you could use 2 of the shades together, you could use all 4 shades, you could use 3 of the shades. You know, you can decide how colorful you want to be or not. Okay. Gonna buff this out. And you can see I really just put it on like this outer half of my eye. Do not worry about it going on your cheek or down over here on each side. It's gonna do that. It's gonna get all over. If you're doing a colorful look or you're concerned about a lot of fallout, there's nothing wrong with doing your eyes first. In fact, most people who I've seen who are doing a more colorful eye, I'm going back into the blue, they do that. They do their eyes first. I don't know. I can't seem to get myself to do it. I know that's the quote right thing to do. I can't seem to do it. If I did that, I would not have to worry about cloud under my eyes. I would not have to worry about cleaning them up. I'm going with the blue to line the top part of my eye. I wouldn't have to worry about any of that. Am I gonna do it? No, because I don't wanna. That's pretty much that. And the second way to deal with the, you know, mess or whatever you get from all the fallout is to, frankly, take a sponge and clean up under your eye. And you know, you're gonna, when you do that, you probably are gonna have to fix your makeup that's under your eye. So if you've already put on concealer or powder, you got a problem. So I don't do that, I will admit. Like, I have foundation on, I don't have powder under my eyes. I don't have setting powder or concealer under my eyes yet, because I do know that I'm gonna clean it up. So it's just one of those things. I just haven't gotten the habit of putting my makeup on first, and I should. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the Wayne Goss 03, buff this out a little bit. And what I'm achieving here, guys, is kind of a Donna Mills 80s look, which is not necessarily what I intended when I started, but I think that's the way it's going. And I'm not necessarily upset about that. I kind of like it. All right, so let me bring you in a little bit closer. We're gonna finish up the eye look. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, now you're close. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the Camel shade. So these are the shades that I've used. I used this one in the transition, this one under my eye, in the crease, along the top line, and I'm gonna use this Camel shade, and I'm gonna put it on my eye. Now, a lot of times you'll see in my videos, I use my finger, because I actually think that is one of the easiest things and most effective when using a shade. But when you wanna be more precise, one of the brushes I really like is the Sonia G Flat Definer brush, because I can literally, I actually think this is going on really nicely. This particular shade is not very opaque. So, for example, some of the shades in a, say, Pat McGrath palette, if you put them on, even if they're light shades over a darker shade, they can literally cover the other shade because they're so pigmented and so strong. I would not say this palette is like that. Most of the Tom Ford palettes aren't like that, which is okay. I mean, they all have their place, so it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad or good thing. I'm just saying, so you know. Wow, that looks really, that actually looks really nice. All right, so I'm gonna go with the darkest shade, which again, like, it's blue, it's kind of gray, but it has like a green. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna play around with it some more, but I'm gonna put this, and I'm using a pencil brush because I really want to be very precise. I just want to deepen up this outer part and just that. This outer 7. And I know it's not good to pull your skin, but I'm almost 50, so my skin isn't as tight as it was when I was 20. Let me curl my eyelashes, put on mascara. I'm using the Badass mascara like I did for the others. And then I'll bring you back in, but then we'll buff it all in, use a lipstick, all that good stuff. Okay, we're back. Mascara is on. I'm going to take some of my Kojendo powder because I don't have Tom Ford powder. Stamp it in a little, and we're gonna buff. What do we think, guys? Kind of feeling an 80s vibe here, but I think that might be my hair. I actually think it looks nice. I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't look intense, because it does definitely look more intense than the others, but I like the look. What do you think? You guys will tell me. You're all very honest. Try to be nice in your honesty, but you know. No, I actually like it. I think it looks nice. I definitely think that the shade that I would use, that others could use maybe as a bronzer, I'm gonna use as contour. The highlight, I mean, I think it's beautiful. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Goldfinger, huh. Okay, you only get that joke if you're a James Bond fan. But I think it's a beautiful shade. It's just, you know, it's very gold for me, and I'm cool toned. And so I think I have to be very light with it, very careful with it, but I think it looks pretty. I like it, guys. My opinion, this one is my favorite, actually. And I knew it was gonna be, which is why I wanted it so bad, because the shades, the colors are what I like. The eyeshadows in here are like some of my favorite colors. I love blues, I love grays or green grays or whatever the shade that is. The mushroom color, camel, like those are my colors. I love that. And even this, even though it's like obviously too deep for me, I love the coolness of it. I just really think it's pretty. So I'm very happy. It's actually my favorite palette of all four. You guys might not agree, but my personal opinion, that's my favorite one. With all the others, I did a lipstick and perfume. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna use Sugar Glider. Sugar Glider is a cool shade, so it should work hopefully with this, but it's pretty, it's on the sheerer side, doesn't have a lot of intensity. It's not a very deep shade, it's not like an overpowering shade, and I knew no matter what that the eye look was gonna be a little bit more, so let's try this. Final look. Like I said, I like it. I know, I mean, first of all, it's cool toned. I usually go for warm, but I really like it. I think it looks really nice. I like the blue. I like the camel. I like blue and tans together. I think that's a nice combination. I like blue and tan with pretty much anything. I like it in interior design. I like it in clothing. I like it in makeup. I just think that's a beautiful combination of blue and a tan or a camel. I just think is a really nice juxtaposition. I like it. My eye is drawn to it. So I really like that. I think the lipstick works well with it. So for perfume. So the other ones I did kind of had a tie-in. So in other words, the Rose Prick has a lipstick that goes with it. You can see it in the background, actually, the pink case. And the Lost Cherry has a lipstick case that goes with it, an actual lipstick that goes with it. The Lavender Extreme has a lipstick that goes with it and a case that goes with it. I didn't have that particular lipstick. I think I used So Vain, although I'm not sure. But anyway, so I don't have a corresponding set for this one, but I did choose one of my favorite perfumes from Tom Ford. This is Cafe Rose. This is a bigger bottle. This has been around for a while. Cafe Rose, if you don't like rose, you're not gonna like it. It is a rose scent. So like I said, if you don't like rose, don't buy it. But it's like rose and coffee. It smells really nice. So for me, I know we're not going out, well, maybe you are, but I'm not really leaving my house. And when I do, I'm not really going indoors very many places. I haven't even gone grocery shopping indoors. Everything, I'm just having things delivered. So I get that we're not buying as much makeup, we're not buying as much, or at least maybe you are, but for the most part, most people aren't buying as much makeup, perfume, clothes, because you're really not, you know, out doing other things. You're in your house, or maybe you're at your office, but you know, it's very limited, extremely limited. So for me, perfume has never been about what other people think of it. In fact, nothing in my life has ever been about what other people think of it. I appreciate everyone's opinion and I want all of your thoughts and suggestions, but it's about what I like, what works for me, what makes me happy. And I hope all of you are like that as well. I hope when you watch me and you like something, it's because you like it for you and you feel like, wow, I would love that for me because that would look great on me, or that would make me happy, or I would enjoy that. I hope it's never about what you think someone else will think of you for having something. Because in my opinion, that's just gonna make you, over time, sad and frustrated. Because if you're always trying to keep up with someone else or impress someone else, then you're not really focused on what makes you happy and what you enjoy and making you fulfilled. The way, in my opinion, You can bring joy to others, you can help others, you can support others, and I think that's extremely important. But you also need to take time for things that make you happy, that you enjoy, that you like. So if you are wearing perfume around the house and you never go anywhere and no one else smells it, but it makes you happy, that's awesome. And I do that. So I do. Like, there are days that, I mean, guys, my job, my full-time job is it's a great job, but it's a hard job and it's a stressful job and it's a hectic job. And there are days that you're just, you know, completely overwhelmed and exhausted. And sometimes I just put on a little bit of perfume and I'm like, oh, I feel better. Now, it's not just perfume. I mean, I have a Peloton, which I absolutely love because I can't do my hot yoga. You know, I'd love to hear from all of you about what you're doing. Like, are you doing, you know, stuff at home, yoga at home? There's apps out there that are awesome. Have you found new ways to decrease your stress? You know, you go hiking or whatever it is. Again, though, do the things that fulfill you, that make you happy, and don't worry about what other people think of it. If somebody doesn't like your perfume and they're a friend and you care about them and they don't like your perfume or it bothers them or they're allergic to it, certainly don't wear it around them. But other than that, you know, you need to be, again, this is all my opinion, but you need to be purchasing things or doing things that are about what you like and what makes you happy. If you want to wear lipstick on your eyelid, go for it. If it makes you happy and you like the way it looks, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It's your money, it's your purchase. Make your own decisions, and, you know, everybody else, don't worry about them. That's my little TED Talk for today. So I love this look. I love this palette. I should have just bought this one from the beginning. That's a lesson right there. I did not go with my gut. I knew that this was the palette that I was gonna like the most because of the color story, and I didn't buy it first because I was like, oh, it's gonna be too deep for me because I'm so pale. Should've got it anyway. Who cares if it's too deep for me? I mean, you know, so what? I still like it more. And this will be the one I reach for the most. I can tell you that right now. I will definitely reach for this palette before I reach for the others. Not that the others are not pretty, and I did a review of them and I talked about them in my favorites and fails. They're beautiful palettes, and if you buy one, if you get one in this color store that you like, you're going to enjoy them. I promise you. But this is the one. Even though it's a little too intense, color story-wise, I love it. So I'm happy. Oh, okay. I'm just so happy that I picked it up. Anyway. So that's it for today, guys. I really appreciate you joining me. And if you've made it this far through the video, I have a little, what's the reward for sitting through me talking. So I am gonna be doing the giveaway to my subscribers. What I would love to hear from all of you, and I am gonna put a poll up or questions up on Instagram, but for the folks that are watching, I'm gonna do $100 gift cards. Now this is gonna be for US subscribers only. I apologize to anyone who's watching outside the US, but I haven't quite figured out how to do that overseas yet. I'll get there. And so I need to know, are there particular stores that you'd want me to use? Like, so I could do Sephora, Ulta, Nordstrom. I could do all Sephora. I would love to hear your feedback because this really is a way for me to say thank you to all of you for watching, for subscribing, for sharing my channel, and so I want it to be of value to you. This has nothing to do with me. It has to do with all of you and all your support, and I want to say thank you. So you let me know what you want the gift cards to be, and then in the next, probably it's gonna be a couple videos from this, I will go through the details of the giveaway. I will make it very clear what everyone has to do, and there will be an option 1 for people to enter. It'll be very, very simple. And then there'll be a second option to enter. So the simple one will be like, okay, you get 1 entry. The second one will give you 5 entries in addition to the 1. I have to answer some questions to get those 5 entries. It's coming soon, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye-bye.